Wendy made a bet with someone that she could win me over in a month. She stopped being mean and acted like a good girl to win my favor. I pretended not to know and dated her for a year, treating her well and catering to her every need. But when she fell for me and wanted marriage, I broke up with her, telling her with regret, "It's been a year. You're not so new anymore." When Wendy asked me what kind of wedding I liked, it was like being struck by lightning. I was frozen. Marriage? My hesitation made her frown, ice chilling the air around her. "You never thought about marrying me?" I reluctantly admired her slender, elegant figure, trying to dissuade her. "Divorce is so much trouble now, with the cooling-off period and all." She laughed coldly. "You want a divorce before we're even married? Oh, Barry, planning ahead, aren't you?" "It's not that I want a divorce before marriage, but..." Wendy had this face, like she knew every trick in the book. After dating for a year, part of me wanted to hold on. "Why don't you want to marry me?" she asked seriously, eyebrows furrowed. Embarrassed, I tried to hint at our age difference. "Don't you think you're a bit young?" Her face darkened, pushing against my chest lightly. Her young body had all it should, her delicate hand holding me in place, her high temperature full of resistance. I looked down at her tightened jaw and she bit out her words. "Don't you know if I'm young or not?" When it was supposed to be dinner time, Wendy was in the living room showing me just how mature she was. At first, I teased her, saying she was young, just over 20, not old at all. But then my thoughts drifted away. Wendy lay in bed, clinging to my waist, her head resting on my shoulder, so clingy. I didn't have the energy to complain about the uncomfortable position. In a blur, I heard a breathy voice whisper in my ear, "I don't believe you never had feelings for me." Feelings? Anyone would with a body this beautiful right here, but not enough to bind me for life. I never intended to marry her from the start. When I got dressed, I gave her a note with a breakup fee of 10 grand. As I put on my shoes by the door, she ran out from the bedroom, hair a mess, hugging my waist to stop me. Her phone screen flashed with the transfer note. "What do you mean?" I gently pushed her away. "Breaking up? Isn't it obvious?" She seemed irate, tossing her phone and gripping my wrist tightly. "Because I mentioned marriage, you're breaking up with me?" I stared at her for a while, trying to see if she was acting again. Maybe she played the sweet girl role so well for a year that she believed her act. I smiled, not dragging the conversation elsewhere. "Remember what you told your friends?" Her breath hitched, eyes flickering. "You told them men in their 30s are desperate, someone like me you'd win over in a month. Our families had business deals, and a year ago I attended a party at her house. I heard the star of the evening bet with her friends. Barry, he's a bit older but good-looking. Give me a month." Her grip loosened drastically. Wendy no longer had the confidence to question me. "So, I sighed, comforting her. "No need to explain. I don't blame you." Her eyes lit up, visibly relieved. I continued slowly, "But it's been a year, and I'm tired of it. Youthful energy, craving conquest." She pretended to be a pure girl, and I was drawn to her beauty. Two people with ulterior motives who'd have thought we'd last a year. She wanted to go legit, and that wasn't my path. Liking young bodies was a hobby, not my fate. Ignoring her frozen smile, I patted her shoulder. "But your service was good over the year. Consider the 10 grand your tip. Let's part on good terms." After breaking up, I went abroad to heal. A year's relationship cut just like that. Out of respect for my ex, I needed a break. Just landed on the island when Christina called me, getting straight to it. "You broke up with Wendy?" I raised an eyebrow, puzzled. My sister never cared about my personal life. Why the sudden interest? I replied lightly, "The family doesn't need me to marry for alliances. Breaking up isn't a big deal." "How do you know?" She chuckled softly, the sound crackling over the line. My arm prickled with goosebumps. She stopped laughing. "Nothing. Did you finish handing over your work before vacationing?" I ended the call. Christina's all good, but she's seriously a robot. Everything's procedure with her. Mentioning work, she turns into a relentless nag. With her, I avoid when I can. A project just ended. I could take a few days off. Originally planned to enjoy this trip with Wendy, But alas, I scrapped the original plans of sunbathing and fishing, changed to a beach model show. At night, the beach was glowing, models with long legs passing by. My phone rang on the table. A model motioned for me to take the call. Reluctantly, I picked it up. On the other end, chaotic, noisy music blasted. I held the phone away, glancing at the contact note. "Don't break up, please." Wendy's voice was low, a bit slurred as if she'd been drinking a lot. I was wrong, just saving face saying that to them. "Truth is, I fell for you at first sight." I asked, "How much did you drink? Anyone with you?" While responding, I sipped on a coconut juice a model handed me. "No, I just want you with me. Can we start over?" Wendy sounded like a drenched puppy, shaking, tugging at the heartstrings. I sighed. "You should head home and rest." "What's wrong? What's going on, Barry?" My voice stopped short. The phone, barely paid attention to, erupted with anger. "Barry, what are you doing?" Wendy's side was noisy. After a clash of sounds, someone yelled to call an ambulance. I stared at the phone screen for a few seconds, clicking my tongue. Dating Wendy, I valued her pride. She'd never let herself be the weak, dependent type in a relationship. During our romance, I'd indulged her moods. Didn't expect the breakup to be so tricky. Though there's not much business with her family now, better not make enemies. The show's mood was ruined. I regretfully bid farewell to the model, booking a ticket back. Wendy was knocked over at a bar, tumbling down some steps. By the time I reached the hospital, she looked worn out, her right leg in a cast. The room was empty, and she had sent the nurses away. When I opened the door, she didn't even look up and tossed a cup at my feet. "Get out." The glass shattered at my feet, sending shards everywhere. I carefully stepped around them and brought in a basket of fruit. She was full of complaints, but when she saw me, every bit of impatience turned into delight. Then she quickly put on a front, stiffened her face, and didn't look at me. "Why are you here again? You're living just fine after the breakup, aren't you? Surprising that you even care if I'm alive." I set the fruit basket down and glanced at her injuries. They didn't seem too bad. "You really think I'm that heartless?" She suddenly looked up at me, her vicious gaze accusing me like it wanted to devour me. "Who could be more heartless than you?" The faint red around her eyes betrayed her feelings. Back when we were dating, her vulnerability always made me give in. I sighed. Wendy suddenly hugged my waist. Her leg in a cast was propped up on the bed. She twisted her upper body over and spoke in a low voice. "Barry, I know you still care about me. If you don't want to get married, we can just date forever." I looked down at her head and chuckled softly. "You're still so young, talking about forever." I pushed her away, and a gust from the window slammed the door shut behind me. I glanced back. A shadow crossed beyond the glass pane on the door. "I'm serious," Wendy earnestly assured. "Really?" I didn't believe her. Seeing she was fine made me feel relieved. "This shouldn't affect our family's reputation. Take care of yourself. I won't keep you from resting." She grabbed my hand, looking surprised. "You're leaving already?" I pulled away and waved. "We broke up. Am I supposed to stay and take care of her?" At the hallway's end, a woman was waiting for the elevator. Her face was cold, exuding an aura that kept everyone at a distance. Others waiting for the elevator naturally stood away from her. I walked over. "Here to see Wendy? Why not go in?" "Christina is the child from my stepmother. She's quiet and distant. Even back in school, she was already managing the company, not exactly someone who hung out with Wendy." She glanced at me. "Does it make you happy seeing others in turmoil for you?" I smirked. "Do you feel bad for her?" The elevator arrived. She stepped in, and others stayed put. She kept her finger on the button and stared at me until I got in. She released the button, and the elevator doors closed slowly. In the quiet space, it was just the two of us. "What, are you going to avenge her?" She scoffed softly. "Just here for the show. I don't care what happens to her." Unusually harsh. I looked at her, her dark eyes meeting mine. "You like her that much?" I frowned, disliking being under that gaze, and pushed her hand away. Her hand turned red, but she didn't mind and still didn't move away from in front of me. In the silent elevator, her breathing was distinct. Am I not good enough? I looked at her in disbelief, wondering if I was hearing things. You sure? I might not be as playful as her, but I'm cleaner. The elevator doors opened, and I fled, pushing Christina aside like I'd seen a ghost. Didn't dare look back at Christina's expression. I took a deep breath once back home. The image of her downcast eyes lingered in my mind, mixed with expectation, colliding with a memory. In college, I was attracted to a senior known for her stoic and upright nature. I liked her focused demeanor. She was always unfazed until her birthday when she drank too much. Flushed, she grabbed my hand, slightly slurred but sincere. If you're not serious, don't lead me on. Looking into her eyes made my heart race. She then leaned against me, drifting off in her daze. I never got to say that I was serious. Mom brought me to meet her boyfriend. He had his kid with him. A clear face, still innocent, couldn't stop staring at me. I felt a chill in that moment. Mom, holding my hand, introduced them. Barry, this is your Uncle Jack. This should be your sister. She's a year older. Her name's Christina. They curiously asked if we knew each other, being at the same school. I looked at my beaming mom, stammering, no, we don't. Throughout dinner, Christina's eyes never left me, and I didn't look back at her once. Mom had struggled enough over the years. I wanted her life smooth from now on. I began avoiding Christina, suppressing my feelings, and she never sought me out. Her life continued unchanged. After Mom's marriage, we moved in together. Christina mostly acted like I didn't exist unless it involved work. Over all these years, it's just been work. Someone like her, I couldn't believe those words came from her. My phone buzzed, stirring something inside me. Reluctantly, I picked up my phone, dreading a message from Christina. But the notifications kept coming, one after the other. I sighed deeply and checked it. They were from Wendy. Relief washed over me. Barry, I'm serious. I'll wait for you. I regret how I talked about you to others back then. I don't ask for forgiveness, just a chance to make it right. I've only ever liked you. You were so kind, and despite knowing what I said, you stayed with me. Isn't that because I'm in your heart? I don't mind you having fun elsewhere. Why can't you give me a chance? Even criminals get a chance to redeem themselves. Would you really sentence me to death so soon? I won't give up on you. I didn't respond. Her messages grew more frantic, eventually becoming threats. I used to get an impression of pride from Christina. Not clingy, never pursuing, once lost, lost forever. Wendy, raised in luxury, with everyone pampering her, couldn't hide her arrogance from her eyes. She never seemed clingy when pretending to be sweet. How did it come to this? As I watched the messages continue to pour in, I realized I had misjudged Wendy. Unlike Christina, who valued self-respect, Wendy was a privileged girl who went after what she wanted without reservation. I rubbed my throbbing temples, feeling a headache from this misjudgment. In that moment of sudden clarity, Christina's words echoed again. I might not be as playful, but I'm cleaner. Collapsing onto the couch, I found myself in a daze. I misjudged Christina, too, wanting to hide from Christina a few days during my break, hoping she'd cool down. We could pretend like nothing happened. That afternoon, Christina messaged me. Mom wants you home for dinner tonight. I sat there silently. After graduating college, I didn't want to see Christina at home every day, so I found a place and moved out. At work, we're on different floors, so we don't run into each other often. Mom doesn't want me and Christina to drift apart, so she often tells me to keep in touch with her. Christina probably got the same lecture. No matter how awkward things get, we always pretend to get along at family dinners. I tidied up a bit, then drove home. When Mom and Dad are relaxing, they give the housekeeper time off and cook themselves. So it's just me and Christina in the living room. She didn't act any different, didn't even look at me. I felt relieved but started wondering if I imagined it all. I watched TV for a bit, distracted while holding a watermelon. Suddenly, someone wiped the watermelon juice off my lips with a tissue. Surprised, I turned to see who it was. Christina barely looked at me and tossed the tissue in the trash. It's cleaner that way, I mumbled. Mom glanced over as she brought out some soup, Stop eating watermelon. You won't have room for dinner. Thanks, Mom, for getting me out of that. I put the watermelon down and offered to help her. Didn't notice Christina's deep gaze from behind. Dinner was quiet. Afterward, I cleared the table and went to the kitchen to wash dishes. I heard footsteps at the door, and I said, "I've got it." I wanted some alone time in the kitchen, but the footsteps didn't stop. When I turned around, an arm wrapped around my waist, pinning me between Christina and the sink. Her lashes were lowered, her voice steady. "Got nothing to say to me?" The closeness was intense, like she wanted a kiss or a fight. Of course, I wasn't about to kiss Christina. I turned my head. "I like them wilder, you're not it." My heart raced right after I said it. Christina didn't move. After a long pause, I heard a cold laugh. "Wilder? So who was chasing after me before? 5 years of peace and now digging up the past? We were young and trying different things. I'm older now and I know what I want." I felt like a jerk who got what he wanted and walked away. Her straight-lined mouth and shadowed eyes nailed me there. Truth is, I really pursued her and she never warmed up. Her closest gesture was hugging me drunk once. I braved up and tapped her forehead. "I treated you right back then. Nothing happened, so let it go." Her chest rose as she took a deep breath. My wrist was suddenly grabbed, and I tensed up. Against Christina's dark gaze, I wanted to back away, but the counter was behind me. No walking away clean, Barry. Not after messing with someone. The pressure was intense. I desperately wanted to leave and fumbled my words. "But it's been 5 years. Isn't it too late to bring that up? Do you know how these 5 years were for me?" Her voice was low and heavy with emotion. "Barry, Christina, leave the dishes and come have some fruit." She sighed, controlling herself. Her grip lightened, and I pulled away, slipping past her. My back was damp with sweat. I'm never cool and calm in front of Christina. I felt guilty about chasing her then. She never mentioned it in those 5 years, so my guilt faded. But seeing her in pain now brought it back full force, making it hard to breathe. Mom put a fruit plate in front of me, and I forked a piece of pineapple. The sweet and tangy taste spread instantly. "Good?" Mom asked, smiling. "No matter what, I don't want Dad's peaceful life disrupted. Got a party Saturday. Plenty of nice girls to meet. Interested?" I choked on the pineapple, coughing. Mom patted my back and sighed. "I wasn't thrilled about you and Wendy. She was a handful and you got hurt. Breaking up is good. Stay home, and I'll find you someone better." I snuggled to her. "Mom's the best." She stroked my hair, holding me close. Then she looked somewhere. "Christina, wanna come?" Her name sent jitters through me. I didn't dare turn around. Her voice carried over, "Okay." Christina rarely goes to parties. I love a good crowd and show up to most of them. Not often do we show up somewhere together, usually with her discussing work deals. Once I saw Christina surrounded by people, I left her side to catch up with some friends. Alex handed me champagne and pulled me aside. Curious. Why'd Christina tag along? Doesn't seem her scene. I shrugged. Who knows? Can't read her. He nudged me with his elbow. You're both in matching colors today? I paused, looking down at my black suit and subtle green tie, then towards Christina in her green strapless gown. I took a deep breath. Christina's way tougher than Wendy. If things get awkward, have to continue sitting at the same family table. Coincidence, I'm sure. Alex and I are close. We went to the same university. He helped when I was after Christina. He chuckled, don't be too sure. Wendy announced online she'd win you back. And Christina commented. My eyes widened. Alex grinned. Christina wrote, don't go out in the rain. Wendy asked what she meant, and Christina replied about lightning in summer. He started laughing. Hard to picture Christina shading her like that. I couldn't help chuckling at the thought. Maybe Christina was just waiting for you to break up. His guess was spot on. I sipped my drink. Suddenly, he motioned with his eyes. I turned to see Christina breaking away from the crowd and heading my way. The banquet hall doors swung open again, and everyone inside turned to look. A foot encased in a cast appeared first, followed by Wendy, slowly wheeling herself in on a wheelchair. She glanced around, and her eyes brightened a bit when she saw me, steering the wheelchair my way. Next to me, Alex couldn't conceal his excitement. "They're all heading to you, right?" he whispered. It was like he was about to watch a circus act, and I was the main attraction. As Wendy wheeled over, I made a move to walk away, but she caught up. "Barry," she called. I felt a slight twinge of despair but kept up a cool facade. I looked at Wendy. "Shouldn't you be resting in the hospital for a bit longer?" She wasn't in a dress, just a white t-shirt and some sporty pants, radiating a youthful vibe. She gave me a sidelong glance and raised a brow. "You care about me." I gripped my glass tighter and forced a smile. "I just meant, take care of your health. But since you're asking, I guess you're fine." Wendy's expression faltered, and someone chuckled behind her. Christina came into view, a subtle smile playing on her lips as she looked at Wendy. "Nice new wheels, Ms. Wendy." How could she crack a joke with such a straight face? Wendy seemed to only then notice her, and the feigned gentle look in her eyes was replaced with determination. However, sitting in a wheelchair made her seem less intimidating. Apparently, Christina appreciated my taste. The invisible tension slowly filled the air. Before I knew it, my champagne was gone. I grabbed another. From the corner of my eye, I saw Christina watching me. I paused. She took the champagne from my hand and replaced it with a juice. "Drink less," she said softly. I shrugged, not really caring what I drank, sipping the juice. Wendy sneered suddenly. "Feeling your age, huh?" Christina paused for a moment. Wendy then turned to me. "Barry, drink what you want. If you get drunk, I'll take you back. He doesn't handle alcohol well. End up with a terrible headache. Right, Ms. Wendy?" Christina chimed in smoothly as Wendy's expression darkened. Christina went on casually, "Being young means being a bit thoughtless, I guess. But," she sighed gently, "taking care of a big kid like that must have been hard for Barry before." Wendy looked like thunder. "In a year together, Barry never got drunk with me," she announced, emphasizing the year part. Christina smiled a little. "He probably wanted to keep up appearances with you. Close people don't fuss over that stuff." Alex murmured in my ear, "Man, Wendy's not holding her own against Christina here." Wendy let out a somewhat fake laugh. "When it comes to closeness, as Barry's sister, you're definitely closer than me." Christina's face chilled instantly. "But that sort of closeness is all yours. I'd rather be his partner than a sister." Wendy's words had a sting to them. Christina's gaze suddenly became intense. Alex glanced at Wendy with newfound admiration. I shook my head, put down my juice, and broke off from the face-off. Heading to the restroom, Alex trailed me, mumbling, "You can't keep this up. Can you? It's clear they're into you. So, is it the old flame or the even older flame?" I pushed his head away. "Between A and B, I choose C." He stopped in his tracks, surprised. I walked further and he caught up. "This new flame is going to have a tough time." He's got a point. Choosing neither of them might leave me lonely forever. If that new person doesn't outshine these two, well, Christina's pretty rational, but Wendy, who knows? In the restroom, my phone buzzed furiously. Always Wendy with those messages. I ignored it, came out, and went back to the hall with Alex. Wendy wasn't interacting with Christina anymore. She was fiddling with her phone. Christina was encircled by others again. Scanning the room, no one's looks compared to Christina or Wendy's. Alex, lacking drama, went off to find his fiancée. I sat alone until a girl in a white dress came over, raising her drink to me. "Mr. Barry, I've heard a lot about you." Before she even sat down, I felt sets of eyes from around the room zoning in on us. Man, women can be such trouble. The girl looked puzzled. "What?" I snapped back and gave her an apologetic smile. "Sorry, got a bit distracted. If I wasn't tangled up with those two, I'd probably enjoy chatting with this girl." But nearby, Wendy's wheels were practically sparking with fury. I finished my champagne in one gulp, set the glass down, and excused myself from the girl. "Sorry, I need to step away." The event was pretty dull, with the most excitement coming from us three. Wendy and Christina had already drawn some attention with their spat. I didn't want to be the center of attention again. When I got to the car, the driver saw me alone. "Waiting on Miss?" Leaning back, I replied, No, let's head back. My phone buzzed again with Wendy's relentless messaging. The latest one told me to wait for her. I turned off the screen and set the phone down, rubbing my temples. At home, I took a shower, changed into something comfier, and Mom brought in some honey water. Did you drink tonight? Your cheeks are all flushed. It didn't hit me while drinking, but on the ride, it finally did. I took a swig of the honey water, just a bit, not much. She smiled, I figured. With Christina around, she probably kept an eye on you. We sat by my bed, and I sipped from the cup, sitting cross-legged on the carpet. Mom, you seem to like Christina a lot. She's a good kid. Don't you like her? I mumbled into my drink. I wouldn't say I don't. Back in college, I totally fell for this senior in a white shirt. It was love at first sight, no exaggeration. The more I got to know her, the more I thought she'd be a great partner. Being with her would have made me really happy. I shook off my daze as my mom stood up and said, "You should take a rest. I'll head out now." I flopped onto my bed. My phone buzzed again, so I glanced at it and then set it to silent. I drifted off into a nap. I don't know how long I was out before I shifted and peeked through barely open eyes. My blurry vision saw a silhouette at the foot of my bed. Person? My brain snapped awake, and I opened my eyes wide. When I realized it was Christina, my racing heart finally calmed down. I'd nearly jumped out of my skin. I sat up and threw my pillow at her. "What's your problem?" Christina caught the pillow and then leaned over me. Suddenly, we were face to face, with her breath on my cheek. My heart tightened. She reached over me and turned off the light. We were left in a dark room, our breaths mingling. "You?" I muttered, swallowing hard. Before I could get another word out, her soft lips, slightly smelling of alcohol, pressed against mine. Her sharp canine nipped at my lower lip, and I opened my mouth instinctively to escape the slight pain. The room's air was sucked away. My chest felt tight. My head spun as if I were drunk. I'm not good at resisting a woman's charm. Took all I had to push her back a bit. "What are you doing? Could this really be something Christina would do? What happened to all her rules and decorum? You said you liked it wild," she murmured, her forehead resting against mine. Her hot kisses came back, making it impossible to resist her warmth. Would my mom approve of this? Her good kid of a son getting kissed by her? I turned my head away, breathlessly whispering, "No way." But she grabbed my chin to turn me back. "Yes way." I raised my hand to cover those tempting lips, gritting my teeth. "We're on the same household registration." Christina seemed upset, her breath quickening. She bit my hand, hard enough that it hurt my scalp. "You've always known I was adopted, right?" she said. "The first time I met Jack, he looked so familiar. He resembled my biological father a lot. Soon, I guessed he was my mom's first love, also my biological father's brother, who he'd envied his whole life. Jack was born into privilege. My biological father was an illegitimate child. His status changed only when his mom married up. He resented everything about Jack, and he trapped my mom in an old-school scandal, forcing her into marriage for the family honor. My mom gave in for my grandfather's business, which she agreed to protect. Jack was overseas when it happened, and by the time he returned, it was too late. After their marriage, Jack stayed abroad. For 20 years, my biological dad flaunted mistresses at home while my mom ignored it all. When my grandfather's company was facing ruin, my biological father turned a blind eye. After the business collapsed, my grandfather couldn't take it and jumped off a building. My grandmother fell ill not long after and passed away 5 years later. My mom was so distraught she tried to end it all. I cried and held on to her, snapping her back to reality. She clung to me. She started catering to my biological father's whims, becoming the woman he wanted. As she gained influence in the company, she was ready when he died in a crash. At his funeral, she told me to follow my dreams, as she would follow hers. Seeing Jack with Christina, I backed off for my mom's sake. Even then, I assumed Christina was Jack's real daughter and let go without much thought. Later, I found out she was adopted, but I'd already gotten used to seeing us as siblings, and Christina had been pretty cool towards me. I decided to forget the past through this lens. Outsiders didn't know Christina was adopted, and anything that might happen between us would provoke scandalous gossip. No way would I let rumors affect my mom again. Even if Christina was perfect for me, I pushed her away. The word would get out, I insisted. As if I didn't make myself clear enough, what kind of old-school thinking is that? She shot back. She seemed way more conventional than she let on. Weren't you the one saying I should take relationships seriously? She knew about the rumors with other people. At first, she looked at me like I was beneath her. She lowered her gaze to me. I meant being serious about me, not anyone else. I pressed my lips together and turned away. No. We sat in silence for a long while, only our breaths between us. Is this because of Wendy? She asked. I hesitated, then agreed. Yeah, because of her. I only broke up to show her how much she loves me. Pain hit my lips, blood tasting metallic. Barry, she whispered over my shoulder. Are you really this cruel to me? Knocks sounded from the door, breaking the tension. Barry, Wendy's here to see you. Are you up? My mom called. I quickly pushed Christina away, this time without resistance. I avoided looking at her and rushed to fix my hair and clothes, hoping I didn't look too disheveled. I'm up. I turned on the light and opened the door. My mom stood there with Wendy, who looked at me with a bit of blame in her eyes. She was upset I hadn't returned her messages. I'll leave you two to talk. I'll bring some fruit over soon, my mom said, walking away as Wendy wheeled herself into the room. Suddenly, I remembered Christina was still there and rushed to stop Wendy. But it was already too late. Wendy stared at Christina, who was sitting on the bed. Christina's lips were much more vibrant than usual. I noticed it, and so did Wendy. She suddenly looked at me, or more precisely, at my lips. I touched my lips lightly and winced. Christina seemed so gentle, yet she enjoyed biting. You too? Just those two words were enough to show how angry Wendy was. Her fingers gripped the wheelchair's armrest so tightly that her knuckles turned white. But only for a moment. After taking heavy breaths, she forced a smile at me. Barry, after eating well, can you swallow humble pie? A woman over 25 is on the decline, you're really not picky. She held one of my hands and looked up at me. It reminded me of the border collie I had when I was a kid, smart and quirky. But when I was stern, it would sit by my side obediently, looking up and wagging its tail. I touched my nose. Christina remained expressionless. Oh, is Ms. Wendy foreseeing her own future? She sneered. Better take care of yourself now if you want to keep attracting people. If Wendy's legs weren't injured, she probably would have already gone after Christina. Wendy's eyes were locked on Christina, like a wolf cub ready to pounce. No need for your advice, Wendy shot back. After all, I had a year and you didn't even last a second. Who told you about a second? Shut up, both of you. I quickly pinched Wendy's lips shut. Her eyes flared with anger as she scowled at me. I let go of her and used my strength to will Wendy towards the door. It's late, you should go home, I said. I'll see you out. Mom brushed past with a fruit platter. Leaving already? What's Christina doing in Barry's room? I pushed Wendy into the elevator. As the doors closed, I finally exhaled and leaned against Wendy's wheelchair. She was unusually quiet. Until we got out of the elevator, and I took her to her car, her mood was painfully low. Was it because of her? Wendy asked suddenly. Huh? I paused. The driver, noticing, stepped away. Wendy whispered, Alex told me you used to like Christina. When you were with me, was it because I resembled her? I was dumbfounded. Apart from them both being older sisters, they had no similarities. But she didn't look up. Did you just want to see her through me? I was at a loss for words at her assumption. Her eyes were redder as she lifted them towards me. Because you couldn't be with her openly, you used me as a stand-in. Believe what you want, I said. She lowered her gaze, letting out a bitter laugh. You toyed with me like a dog. Barry, do you have a heart? I pressed my lips together, ignoring the faint pang of guilt, deciding to uphold her narrative. Since you already know, I won't hide it anymore. You're right, I've always liked Christina. She didn't say anything else. I waved to the driver instead. I won't see you off. Turning away, I thought to myself, 2 birds with 1 stone tonight, unexpected bonus. But then Wendy grabbed my hand. I looked back, surprised. She held it tightly, silent. I tried to pull away, but her grip was firm. You? I was stunned. Her grip seemed like it would crush my hand. You can come back and I won't mind. My eyes widened in disbelief. Did she hit her head or something? My heart filled with uneasiness, and I had no words. I turned to see the driver's eyes wide open. I told him, take her for a checkup tomorrow. The driver nodded, still dazed. I lowered my voice near him. A psych eval too. I walked towards home without looking back. That prickling sensation faded only after stepping inside. I drank some water to calm my nerves. Wendy's gaze replayed in my mind. I sank into the sofa, rubbing my temples. The seat next to me shifted as it sank. Christina had joined me. Her composed demeanor returned, ready for negotiation at any moment. Her calm eyes held a hint of sadness. I don't need any title. I almost got lost in her gaze, quickly pulled back to reality by her words. If you were to say you actually like Wendy, Barry, you're in deep, I thought, needing to keep the story. But without the cover of night, under bright lights, Christina's eyes spoke otherwise. She knew I lied. I spent 5 years convincing myself, now just nod. The temptation was strong, but I couldn't nod. With your qualities, you could. I won't. It's not about what you want, I'm rejecting. I won't listen. Her serious, mischievous attitude made me chuckle. You have everything I like. I know you care about Mom. She hesitated, exhaled. I don't need you to be responsible. I clenched a fist, resisting the temptation. But her offer was really tempting. Resisting. So tempting. Resist. My thoughts battled, and I pulled my hand back. I think you should just get some sleep. You have work tomorrow. I got up and walked upstairs. From now on, I'm someone who's resisted temptation. Restless night, turning back and forth, and even in sleep, I couldn't escape dreams. Wendy became a shy, innocent pup, and Christina did everything to seduce. Awake in the dream, then realized reality was worse. All of it was true. I fidgeted in bed, then got up to start the day. Breakfast is set downstairs with Mom and Dad there, but Christina's not around. She's already headed to work. That was a relief. I sat at the table and started eating, pondering my situation. Maybe I shouldn't stay at home anymore. I'll go back to my place tonight. If all else fails, maybe I could request a transfer abroad, wait for the excitement to cool down. After breakfast, I headed to the office. 2 big bouquets of flowers were waiting for me. One had a card with Wendy's name written all bold like she is. The other was unsigned with a card that said, I don't want to miss the 6th year. If you're willing, I can keep waiting. Flowers like these showed up every day for the next 2 weeks. Wendy's pursuit of me was practically public knowledge, loud and clear. There were gifts and surprises, never missing a beat. When I got home, I found a giant package. I hadn't finished tearing off the tape when she popped out, hugging me tightly, but she wobbled a bit. Happy birthday. I was shocked. It's not my birthday today. She whispered in my ear. It's my birthday. I'm wishing you happiness. Christina's affection was subtle. One night I happened to open the curtain. There she was under the streetlight, leaning against her car. I thought my eyes were playing tricks, so I dialed her number. The phone barely rang before she picked up and looked up at my window. Can't sleep? She wasn't supposed to smoke, right? She flicked the cigarette and stubbed it out on the trash can. Her voice raspy. Wanted to try it out, but it's not for me. Not gonna do it again. I realized I had backed myself into a corner. I liked being free, no strings attached. But my mind wasn't at peace. Their constant presence was getting under my skin, and I was pushing limits to get away from them. Finally, I sent a message to both of them. Let's leave it at this. I'm a bad guy, I want it all. I checked my vacation days and used them all up, hopping on a plane to escape overseas. As expected, they didn't come after me. I relaxed for a while but found myself unable to sleep. Mom video called and saw my dark circles, full of concern. What's wrong, dear? Is the new place not agreeing with you? Do you want to come home? I held my cheek in my hand and shook my head. Just some young adult problems. Mom's eyes crinkled with a smile. What are you worried about? Mom's got your back. Just do whatever you feel like. I couldn't help but laugh. What if I wanted to do something bad? My son isn't like that. What could you possibly do wrong? She looked at me, her gentle eyes seeming to understand everything. I just want you to be happy. Don't tie yourself down with too many rules. I looked at my mom, my mind blank for a moment. The weight on my heart was lifted. I was dating to be happy. How did it get this complicated? I knew what I needed to do. Mom's eyes crinkled again. Don't be upset. Oh, by the way, Christina's got an international deal, right in the same country where you're vacationing. Why not hang out with her? She's young too. Shouldn't just bury herself in work all the time. My back straightened in surprise. And also, Wendy's been looking for you, even asked me where you went. The doorbell rang. Epilogue. Wendy hit a bit of a snag. When she landed and called Barry for the address, Barry and Christina were already at the aquarium watching dolphins. By the time she found them, they were wearing similar outfits. Wendy felt a little uneasy, thinking they looked good together, but quickly shook the thought away. Christina probably just copied Barry's outfit. She was exhausted from traveling, her face showing it. Christina's expressionless eyes scanned her. Did you arrive in a time machine? She didn't bother to respond, looking at Barry with a pout. Barry, flying was so tiring. Barry's lips tightened, a hint of concern in his eyes. Wendy knew Barry couldn't resist that look. Christina's soft laugh broke their moment. You're still young, you should have taken the train to show you've got stamina. Wendy managed to smile. By your logic, I should have taken a rocket, it's faster, like you. Christina's gaze turned colder. In their verbal spar, Barry handed each a bottle of water. Talking must have made you thirsty. Take a break. Both quieted down then. Wendy feared she might miss her chance with Barry with just a misstep. Observing them, she thought she noticed a change between Christina and Barry, but maybe not. Christina's poker face revealed nothing. It was always Barry playing her. If she couldn't tell, so be it. She wasn't in a rush. She was younger than Christina. If anything, Christina would give up first. She had time to wait.